and welcome back to my channel. So today is the 27th and it is the stickier side of crafting. For today I thought I would do a journal page. I'm just in the mood for doing a journal page, and this is an art journal that I made last year, maybe even the end of the year before. Oh, in fact it says there 2nd September 2018, so that was when I made the art piece that goes on the front. I have made the whole journal as well, so I've just made it out of chipboard, and then obviously covered it. I think I've actually used a wallpaper sample to cover the actual journal with, and then I've put some coordinating papers that I've distressed on the inside, and then I made a little pocket on the back. And I made that because when I do jelly printing, I'll quite often do quite a few sort of prints, and a lot of them I sort of cut down and put them in the back here to use as backgrounds for my journals, and that just means that I've got something to get me started with. So what I'm going to do is pick one of these backgrounds, and I'm going to use that with the stickers that I've chosen for this month. And the stickers I've chosen for this month are, let me take these out of the packet because otherwise the glare will drive you mad. Sorry for the rustling. Oh, can't get them out. Trying to get them out without crinkling too much. So these are the stickers that I've chosen. They are just from the pound shop, and there's still some glare there because they are on acetate. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, it's just a little flower fairy set with a few flowers and some butterflies, and I just thought it was a really cute little set. It's been in my stash for a while, and I just thought that's a nice one to get going with. So I think what I'll do is I'll move the journal out of the way, and I will take one of the stickers and have a look at what background. Now obviously that background is quite nice in that it's the same sort of colour scheme, but it's whether it's going to be too samey. So this is sort of how I sort of start, really, is by going through, and so that I don't like, so that's going to go in a different no thank you very much pile, and I just go through. Now I like that one, and I like the gradient of that one, and that does almost look sort of sky, grass, earth, and that goes quite nicely with that one, so I'm really liking that one. Same with that one, that's got the same sort of colour gradient, but obviously it's got all the circles in the background. I like the texture in the other one, so I think I will probably go for the other one. Not liking that. So I'm literally just flipping through. These are all just made with either inks or paints on my jelly plate. See, that one works nicely as well. That's got a similar sort of, and I could bring the blue further down. No, I'm still liking that one better. And then these are the last two. Oops, stop my sticker. I think I'm going to go with that one. That's the one I like, so that's the one I'm going to work with. Okay, so I want to get a little bit of texture into the background on here, but what I don't want to do is lose all that lovely colour that I've got in the background. So I think I'm going to go and collect a few bits and bobs together, and then we'll get started. Okay, so to start with, I have found a stencil. This is a Sheena Douglas stencil, and I don't know if you can see, but it's got like a grid pattern and then some greenery, some sort of vines and things going up the side. So I thought that might be quite a nice place to start. So I am just going to pop a little bit of tape on the stencil to keep it in place, just while I put a medium through it. If I can get the end of my tape. There we go. So just literally taping it down to my mat. Now I've got this clear protective mat, which obviously protects my tablecloth and whatnot. These are really cheap. They're about £3 or £4 from IKEA. So I tend to pick one up whenever I go. So I've just got to make sure that I've not put the tape over where I'm going to be putting the medium through. Okay, now I'm not creating any great work of art. This is just a bit of fun playing in my art journal. So I am happy using just quick dry filler in the place of modelling paste or something. I don't have any modelling paste. I do normally make my own, but I haven't got time right at this moment, and I've got a tube of this lying about, so I will just use this. I've used it before, and like I say, I'm not creating great works of art that I'm intending on selling, so it works perfectly fine for me. So I'm just going to squeeze, if I can, squeeze some of this out. Ooh. This is tough. Tough stuff to squeeze out. Right, I just have to pause while I squeeze this out. Oh, blimey, I had to get my husband to come and squeeze that. It was just too hard to get it out. So I've just got a little bit here on the side of my mat. That is a little bit stiff for me. So what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of white paint to it. Just a little tiny bit of white acrylic paint, just to help make it a little bit looser and help it to go through the stencil a little bit easier. Having the talking and doing problem again. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just scrape some of this through the stencil. Ooh, knocking my camera while I do it. Sorry, guys. Can't get used to being restricted in my crafting space. My daughter sneezing in the background there. So I'm thinking that this is ink because it is moving very slightly with the paste. So I've probably done this one with distress inks, which means I just need to be mindful of that when I'm putting the next layers over. So I have got out my watercolours. There we go. And then I'm just going to pull that up. Lovely, I like that. But then I have got this bit where it was, the stencil's not quite as long as the piece of paper is. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to dry that, and then I will come back and just fill in that top piece there. Okay, so that's nice and dry now. I've just gone over it with the heat tool. So I'm just going to reposition this stencil. Just being mindful of what I've already got down. And what I'll be trying to do is get a bit of sort of texture in that up there, but without it being too sort of overlaid, but it'll be fine. So I'm mostly wanting to get the leaves that come down here, like that. And then up this top bit, get that leaf in. I'm just going to get some of that vinery in up the top there. That's it. Okay. And lift that away. And that's not quite as clear as the, not quite as smooth as the initial lay down that I did, because obviously it's trying to lay the stencil down over texture instead of the flat surface, but it's actually gone on quite nicely. So what I'm going to do before I do anything else is I'm going to clear up now. I'm going to go and put my stencil in some water and soak off the medium, and I'm also going to clean up my mat, because this stuff sets obviously rock hard, and I want to be able to get it off. So I shall do that and I'll be back. Okay, so that is now all dry, and like I say, it's not quite as sharp and crisp on that bit there, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. So I want to put a bit of colour into the leaves. So I've pulled out, I've got various different watercolours. These ones are pearlescent watercolours. I've also got some, these are like the Hobbycraft version of gelatos. I have actually got some green gelatos somewhere, so I might dig those out. I've got some of these beautiful floating marshmallow paints. These are gorgeous. They smell, they're so beautiful. They've got essential oils in them. I won these from a giveaway that Julia McNeil did last year. I won her big giveaway, and these were part of it. I've used some of the ones that come on the little like little dots on the wooden pieces, and they just smell amazing. You can't describe how amazing they smell. So this one is poison ivy, so that's quite appropriate really, considering that it is the vines that I am painting. So I'm just going to take the foil off of this, and you've got inside a little plastic pot. She's handwritten poison ivy on the side so that you know what colour it is, and then I've got that gorgeous ivy, and that does look like the green that poison ivy actually wears, so I love that one. So I will probably put a little bit of that in, but I think to start with I'm going to go with just the normal watercolour, and I'm going to go with a dark green. Now as I said just now, I'm fairly certain that the background on this is Distress ink, so I am going to have to just be mindful of the fact that colour might move, but that's okay, I don't mind. So I want it to be quite watery, so I think what I'm going to do is I will use the lid as a bit of a palette, and I will water the colour down a bit. Okay, it's that moment where you're sort of nervous to do it in case it ruins it, but at the same time, at some point you've just got to start. Okay. So to start with, I think that's all I'm going to do, which is going to be deathly dull for you guys. So I will pause the video and I will go and paint all my greenery, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, oh, lose my voice there. So as you can see, I have now painted all of those leaves, and I've done a few different colours. I've used the darker green as sort of the base, and I've done a few highlights with this much lighter green. I've gone over again, sort of giving some highlights with the poison ivy, because that just gives it a little bit of shimmer, and then I've put some shadowing under all the leaves with a dark brown. Now in one or two places the shadowing has got a little bit dark, so down here, so all I'm going to do is just take, oops, not that because it's got green on it, get my brush clean with a bit of clean water, and just push in a little bit of clean water into those shadows, and that will just soften them a little bit and make them look more sort of just part of the background, so you won't notice them, but what they do is just help to lift those leaves up off of that background. So that's where I've got to with that. So I'm going to have my little fairy standing in amongst all these beautiful vine leaves, and I'm going to put some wording. I do just want to put a little bit of ink, I think, to try and bring out some of this texture in the background. Now I don't want it to go too dark, and this is the point where all that hard work could go terribly wrong, but we'll see. So I've got some old paper distress ink. I think that's what I want to go with, but what I'm going to do is start somewhere a little bit inconspicuous where, you know, if I don't like it, it's not going to be the end of the world. So it's a bit of a greeny colour, which I'm not 100% sure on, but yeah. So as you can see, I've just started a little bit in the top there. I'm not going super heavy, and I'm not worrying about being perfect. I'm just very lightly brushing over the top of the texture paste with this makeup brush, and just getting a bit of colour on there. Now that's worked really lovely up on where it's blue, because obviously it's slightly different, but where it's green, it's just making it blend in, and I don't want that. So I'm thinking, but I'm not sure what I'm thinking. I wonder about a little bit of yellow. So that's just a little bit of oxide ink. And again, I'm not wanting to make this perfect. I'm just wanting to okay, and then I want to go around the edge with a little bit of green. So I've got forest moss, and I will just get a blending tool, looking for the right sponge that goes on the end of it. That's the green one. Okay. So I'm just going to go just around the edge, just to sort of bring the eyes into the piece. And again, I'm not wanting lots and lots. It is just to bring the eyes in. There we go. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So what I want to do is have my fairy so that I do want her up there, but I want her standing on something, otherwise, I mean, she has got wings, so I suppose she could be floating. I have also pulled out this box full of, it's just greenery that was left over from a piece yesterday, because I considered putting some stuff down the bottom here, but I like the simplicity of it just being all the texture in the background, so I don't think I am going to do that. I think what I will do is I will stand her like that, and I'm wondering about cutting her out a bit more precisely. Yeah, I'm going to. So I'm going to pause while I'm just going to do that. Okay, so I have cut out the fairy so that she's more, there's no border around her, which I prefer for this particular page. I've also cut out some of the flowers and some of the butterflies, which I'm going to pop in there. And I found this quote in my Tim Holtz quote book thing. It's come from the Small Talk one, and it says, those who don't believe in magic will never find it. So I am going to snip this one so that I can fit it in, but what I'm going to do is stick my fairy and my butterflies and things down first. I'm going to do what I did with the leaves and do a little bit of shading around the back of those, and then I will pop my quote on and do the same thing with the quote. I will just do some shading around the edge of it, just so that it all sort of fits into the piece. Okay. So I am just using regular white glue. These were the type of stickers where they've got the sticky pads on the back, but I don't want that dimension in this particular journal page, so I've just taken those off as best I can. They were super sticky ones. They were quite hard to get off, so there is still a little bit left, but because there's texture on the background, I don't actually think that you will notice all that much. So I'm putting plenty of glue on because of the amount of texture in this background. It is going to be hard to get this to sit how I want it to. So I'm going to have her, so I'm concentrating on where her feet are. So she's tiptoeing on that one and standing on that one. And then I am going to press it down like so. And I think I am going to have to put something heavy on this for a couple of minutes just while it dries. So what I'll do is I will just go and stick them all down because it's going to take me a few minutes to get everything to stick, and then we'll join again. Okay, so that is the images, the stickers all stuck down. I absolutely love this. It reminds me of my childhood. I used to have flower fairy dolls, and my grandma used to have these really lovely flower fairy pictures, and they were always up in the room that me and my sister stayed in. So this evokes some really happy childhood memories for me. I wish I'd still got my flower fairy dolls because I loved them. I don't know what happened to them. So I think the quote's really appropriate. So I'm just going to decide where I would like to put this. So I could put it all the way across there, but I actually think I prefer it in two parts. So I think I'm going to put Snippet in between In and Magic, like that. I'm going to just go around the edges just a little bit with a bit of vintage photo. And that one's going to go there. Sticky on these isn't massively sticky, so I will have to put a little bit of glue on. Losing my voice today. Okay. A little bit of white glue. Just have to hold those down a minute and let them go. And then I am just going to, again, with that very same brown that I've been using for everything else, I'm just going to put a little bit of shading just underneath. Like that. Sorry, I just realised I'm not talking there. Just filming. There we go. Just a little bit more under that one. And that just helps it to ground it and to make it just a bit more sort of part of the image. Now, the one thing that I'll say, if like me you want to use this filler instead of medium, like what's it, paste, I can't think of the word, texture paste. Just be aware that obviously too much water and it will break it down a little bit, so you've just got to be careful that you don't overdo it with the water. I've also set up my stamp with today's date, so I'm going to stamp this just down the bottom here. There we go. It didn't take the 2020 perfectly, but there you go. Nothing I can do about that. And then I'm going to find my pen. That's in here somewhere. Fine liner. So I'm just going to just put that back in like that. And then I'm just going to sign it. There we go. So that's my journal page for today, using the set of Flower Fairy stickers from the pound shop, and that's my project for the stickier side of crafting. I hope that you've all enjoyed it, and I hope you've enjoyed having a look at my process when I'm putting together a journal page. I'm going to pop this under something heavy just to help all the glue settle and everything stick down properly, and then this will be joining the other pieces in my art journal. If you have enjoyed today's video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also hit that bell icon, because then you'll get a notification each time I upload a new video. I hope to see you all again very soon in the next crafty video. Bye for now. So before I go, I've just remembered I always forget to do this bit because I'm a bit rubbish. This is part of a collaboration hosted by the lovely Deb Houck of Deb Houck's Crafty Cottage. I will put all of the links in the video description box below this video, so that you can hop along and see what all the other ladies have been making. I've been finding the last couple of months their videos really inspiring, because stickers are sometimes the thing that I buy because I think they're super cute and I really love them, and then they go in this crate that I've got in the cupboard and they never see the light of day again, unless they're sentiment quotes. I tend to use sentiment stickers and things, but stickers like this, I buy them because they're really cute and then I never use them. So I've been finding the whole series really, really inspiring. So I really, really recommend that you hop along and see what all the other ladies have been making. So that really is it this time, and I really will see you in the next crafty video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.